everybody, I'm going to show you how to make a clock out of a paper plate and then talk a little bit about telling time. So first you're going to need a paper plate. I pre-poked the hole in the center of the plate again, just to make it easier for me later on. Now normally you would use a brass brad with this, but I don't have brads at home. So I actually just found a screw, and it'll work just the same as if you had a brad in there, and even better if the other end of the screw is flat, so you don't have a pokey point. So I have my plate and I have my hole in the center. First I'm going to put all the numbers on the clock, and on a clock normally you see 12 up at the top. 12 is an important number when we're talking about time. To kind of keep this even, I'm going to do 12 at the top, and then I'm going to go right across to make my 6 down at the bottom. I've got 12 up top, 6 down on the bottom. Next up, I'm going to do the sides. I have 12 and 6 right across from each other, and I'm going to have 9 on this side and 3 directly across from that. Next, I'm going to fill in the numbers in between. So I need to go from 12 to 3. After 12, when we're counting on the clock, goes to 1, 2, and then 3. So then I can kind of see where I need to space my 1 and my 2. 1, 2, 3 is already there, so I'm going to add 4 and 5, 4 and 5, then 6, 7 and 8 between my 6 and my 9, and then finally 10 and 11 leading back up to 12. I've got my numbers on my clock now. The next thing we need are the 2 different hands on the clock. The long hand and then the short hand. The long hand tells us our minutes on the clock. The short hand tells us our hour on the clock. So I just took 2 pieces of construction paper and cut them out at the same time, actually. Fold in half, cut the shape of an arrow, and then I just cut them to different lengths. So I made one arrow shorter than the other. Next, I poked that screw that I had through both of my hands at the end. So see how they line up down here, but they're different heights at the arrow point? That's how you want to line it up. I poke my screw through there, and then I put my screw through the plate. And then I've got a working clock. So I can put to start off, both hands up at the 12. That means it's 12 o'clock. And then I can move around the clock. I'm going to move just the hour hand. Now it's 1 o'clock. Now it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So because of that screw in there, I can move these different hands to different times on the clock. This week, we're mostly going to be focusing on the hour, when it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, any of the o'clocks. The long hand is going to be pointing towards the 12, and the short hand is going to be pointing to any of the other numbers on the clock. So you can just practice doing the hours by going 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock, all the way back to 12 o'clock. We will also work on doing the half hour once we get a hang of the o'clocks. So say it is 1:30. I've got my hour. The short hand is the hour on the 1. The 30 or halfway through, think about it like this. This is half of the plate here. So the half hour or 30 minutes is going to be down on that 6. So 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, scooch it behind there, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, and 12:30. So go ahead, give it a shot, make your clocks, and practice having the long hand on the 12 for the hours. That's all you have to practice right now. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Have your mom or dad put the shorthand on one of the hours and the long hand up on the 12, and have them test you to see if you can read what time it is on the clock. Have fun.